Today, I'm visiting Popsy Jewellery Design, a handmade jewellery brand rooted in care and creativity. We'll be going behind the scenes to meet the maker and explore how these pieces are made, while also talking about the quieter realities of running a small business, including mental health, creativity, and the role making can play in looking after ourselves. Running a small business can be incredibly lonely, especially when you're doing it quietly from home while carrying things most people never see. This conversation isn't about success stories or growth hacks. It's about what it really feels like to keep going on the days when motivation disappears, when your mental health takes a hit, and when you're not sure anyone even notices what you're building. This is a space for makers, a space to be honest, and a place where you don't have to pretend you've got it all together. Thing about running your own business for yourself. For me, it's being lonely. It's incredibly lonely, especially when you don't see whatever you're doing. You don't see what effect you're having on other people. So tell me, in your day-to-day life as a small business, what is the most difficult thing that you...
I'd probably have to agree with you. Loneliness is definitely top on the list there. It's incredibly lonely running a small business from home. When you have nobody like to bounce ideas off or to sort of just chat with, or when you've got sort of like a problem that you want to sort of like go over with, or even when you're having just like a rough day and you're just thinking like, oh, is this all worth it?
You need someone to tell you, oh, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. You know, those sort of moments, it can be really lonely. I mean, I've got Bentley and it's not quite the same. He's just having a little...
Chewing the curtain?
Oh no, he's talking to somebody out there. Not quite the same. He doesn't quite give me the encouragement to carry on.
But I find as well though, when you're on your own and you have ideas or you're questioning what you're doing is the right thing to do, because you haven't got that person to ask, that's when self-doubt can creep in and you can think, you know, and sometimes it can the time it takes you to make that decision.
Yeah, it's like when I'm having those sort of days, which actually happen a lot more often than I care to admit, I could have like, want to do like a whole new collection, a whole new range sort of thing, and I'll be sat there researching and stuff like that, and then I'll get to that point and I'll be like, do I, don't I? And then I'll end up scrapping the whole thing and I'll be wasted a whole day doing that.
For a lot of makers, business doesn't begin with a plan. It begins as something small, something grounding, something that helps you feel human again. Making isn't always about selling. Sometimes it's about surviving. There's a different story between every product that you make, the reasons behind what you make.
Yeah.
And I know that from your story, a lot of issues mental health issues that you've had in the past around anxiety and stress. I mean, tell me, how did that lead to this business? I mean, is this something did you do it out of a hobby where, you know, you turned to it for some form of relief and then you thought, okay, well, I can make this part of a business? Or is this a vision that you had, I really want to run my own business? Or did you just fall into it? How did it come about?
Well, it wasn't sort of, I never in a million years thought I would run a business, certainly not jewellery either. I'd always been a crafty person and I used to love doing all sorts. I used to do paper crafts and I used to do cross stitches, all sorts. And I used to go to a group locally and we used to do all sorts, and I picked up jewellery. I actually had a nervous breakdown and I was really, really poorly and I couldn't go out the house, I couldn't do anything. For a very long time. And then when I started to get better, started to feel a little bit more human, I started to do the jewellery again, and that led to one thing, and I started doing it more and more, and then it's sort of developed from there. So it was definitely not something that I went out to do. It was definitely a form of, I guess, therapy in a way. And it developed from there. And then I saw sort of like a hole in the market with sort of like Morse code and stuff like that, and I just loved the way that you could create a hidden message within it, and how you could use those sort of things and say something that really could be inspiring to somebody, and have such a powerful message within it, and no one have to know what it meant. And it carried on from there. I never dreamt that it would go on to be something like this, and obviously here we are 8 years later.
I mean, that's amazing in itself, because running a small business is so hard. It's insanely difficult, and to know that you've been running your small business for 8 years is a huge achievement in itself.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I think your kind of flagship products are the Morse code side of it, isn't it?
Yeah, that and the Fidget bracelets for sure.
Yeah.
Which came along a bit later. That took a lot of research to find sort of the beads and everything that would work and stuff like that. And once I'd found that sort of combination and something that looked really pretty as well, or not so much just pretty, but didn't look like a fidget bracelet, and it could just look like an ordinary bracelet on your wrist.
No one would know.
Yeah, and that nobody would know, exactly.
I think the hidden benefits to having a piece of an accessory on you, to the whole part of like gifting or buying for someone who you perhaps know that's struggling, it's not just the gift is in what it's not looking like to the other person, but what it's doing for you.
Yeah.
So it's that reminder and that hidden message that you carry. So it's not a case of, okay, well, I'm wearing this really pretty necklace that's got "I love you" or "strong" or whatever written on it, and you're at dinner or something, and someone comments, "Oh, well, that's a lovely necklace."
Yeah.
It's not really about that, is it? It's about what it does for you deep down.
Yeah.
Or even if it's a case of, okay, well, I'm going into an environment that I feel really anxious in.
Exactly.
It's like a little, I guess, an adult comforter in a way.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just having that knowing that that's there, and just you knowing that I feel strong because I know that I can do that, and that little piece can really go a long way.
I mean, it's scaled into something that's like incredible, really, in regards to like the range of products that you do. But are there any particular ones that feel meaningful to you when you make them? And I know from my research in craft and how people turn to craft as a way of coping in bad situations or for mental health, but I guess for you as well, just making them is a joy in itself, as well as making them for other people that struggle.
I think the one that really gets me the most will be this Semicolon Macrame bracelet. Every time I make that, or the safety pin one would be the one that gets me the most, because I do make quite a lot of those, and obviously when I'm getting those, they're people that obviously have either experienced suicide or are going through something like that at that time. So that's quite, that's quite deep, and I'm obviously making them because they're either that person is feeling that, or they're sending it to somebody that has. So I'd like to think that that's sort of like because they're getting through that, or they're coming through the other side, or they're needing it because they're in that point. So that's quite, that gets to me every time.
And knowing what you make and how that is helping people
Yeah.
is a massive.
Yeah. Definitely.
But do some of your customers buy them for themselves, or are they more like of a gift item?
I think a lot of the time it is a gift. When I've had like reviews and things like that, a lot of the time the reviews come back saying that such and such was really pleased with the item and they found it really good because it's helped them get through this, or it's helped them. It helps them for lots of different things. It can be like quitting smoking, like stopping biting their nails, things like that. Or it can be, like you said, a big life event, like doing their GCSEs, or they're struggling because they're going through a tough time, like a divorce, things like that, because they're really stressed at that time. Or it can be something that's happening like that's not going to change, like anxiety and things like that, and they're having a really tough time with that. I've had other ones where they're like in meetings and stuff like that, and they get stressed because they're in a meeting and they feel confined and stuff like that. Especially around Christmas, I seem to get a lot of them around Christmas, and obviously that's
what people usually see is the finished piece. What they don't see is the doubt, the silence, and the emotional weight that comes with building something on your own. Especially when there's no one there to bounce ideas off or to tell you you're doing okay. Some days you just feel like, as a small business, you're trying to be seen on social media, you're trying to get people to notice what you're making or what you're doing. Like for me, I'm still struggling to get seen. I'm struggling to get my maker seen. So it's those days that are kind of like, I think to myself, why do I even bother? And I think it is, for me, had I not had such a strong desire and purpose to what I want to do, and it is, and you hear it from so many small businesses, that it's like, and that's what keeps you going. And I guess you kind of got to play to no audience. Do you know what I mean? Some days you think, okay, well, I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
So when you create something, when you sit there and you're making it and you think, okay, well, some days, I don't know, you may feel like you don't want to make because you think,
what am I doing it for?
Yeah, what am I doing it for?
Yeah.
But for you, making it is a sense of relief, a sense of, I guess, therapy in a way.
Yeah. I think I've seen loads of posts and stuff like what have been really, really beneficial actually. It's like you may not have like loads of followers, or those followers that you have, can you imagine them in a room?
Yeah.
You know, like how amazing would that be, having all of those followers in your room? Like that's a crazy amount.
I've never thought about it like that, but yeah.
Yeah, so like even if you had, you get 10 likes on your post, can you imagine having them 10 people in your room? Sort of thing, just being like, sort of being really chanting, going, oh, I love your post, I love your post. Like that would be amazing, just those 10 people alone.
Yeah.
So even though we're not going viral and we're not, not getting like hundreds of thousands and stuff like that, those people that are following you are following you because they want to follow you. And I've seen loads of those, and when I'm feeling really crappy and having those days, I try to remember those sort of things and think, actually, yeah, those people that are following and they're consistently following and they're liking, it's because they want to be there. You can spend hours doing that, and I don't think people realise what you actually do.
And it's a huge reflection as well on your price point, because I think a lot of makers don't value they're worried of putting such a high price on something that actually they're not making a huge margin on. Yeah. But people don't realise what work's actually involved. You're not just making a bracelet.
No, it doesn't stop there. And especially because you've got to try and make yourself be seen, haven't you? Like, it's all, and I think it's not just the editing, is it? It's, you've got to learn how to do it all as well.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn, and I don't think people realise how much there is to learn.
If you don't learn, you've got to pay someone to do it.
Exactly, and we
expense.
can't afford to do any of that.
No.
As small businesses, so you have to sit there for hours watching YouTube videos and stuff like that, and it doesn't happen overnight.
There are days when it feels like you're creating into a void. You show up, you post, you make, and nothing comes back. Those are often the hardest days to keep going.
One post and then mean nothing again.
It's that psychological thing with social media that kind of messes with your head in regards to it, because it's so invisible. You don't know you're playing to one person, or you're playing to someone's going to see it. No one probably reacts to it.
That's it.
You think, how many things do... Bad mental health days don't always look dramatic. Sometimes you're still working, but you're not really there. You lose focus, you lose time, and everything feels heavier than it should. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. I think the way we talk to ourselves plays a huge part on our success in achieving anything. And I think, to be honest, it's the only person that matters is what you think of yourself.
Yeah. I guess I try to remind myself how far I've come.
Reflection.
Yeah.
We don't spend enough time stopping to notice how far we've come. We focus on what's still left to do and forget everything we've already survived. Looking back isn't indulgent. Sometimes it's the only way to keep moving forward. One thing I've read recently is what Steve Jobs said: you can't connect the dots moving forward. You can only connect them looking back.
That's a really good one.
And when I actually went hiking, and I found that the most therapeutic, peaceful thing to do for my mindset.
Yeah.
And along the coastal path, when you look back at how far you've come, when you look forward at what you've got to achieve, it feels so much smaller.
Yeah.
But if you didn't look back at where you came from, chances are you would look forward and think, I can't achieve
do that. Yeah, it's too much.
But I think if you look at what you have achieved,
it doesn't feel half as overwhelming.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I've done this before.
Yeah.
What keeps a lot of people going isn't growth or numbers, it's meaning. It's knowing that something you made with your hands helped someone else feel seen, supported, or less alone. Sometimes all it takes is one message, one thank you, at exactly the right moment. How does making jewellery make you feel? I guess it doesn't really need to be the jewellery aspect.
Yeah.
Hello.
Would you like to get up? I think I just love making jewellery, and I love the fact that you can make jewellery with, you can make jewellery to have a purpose, and I love the fact that jewellery can.
Hello.
He will give you lots of kisses.
You know what kisses?
Jewellery can have more. It can be more than just something that you wear, if you know what I mean. Like
absolutely.
Just a piece of, just a necklace sort of thing. It can have a sentimental value. It can have, like people can lose a piece of jewellery and they'll be genuinely like upset over it because it holds such a meaning. Yeah. And I love that I can make those pieces, enjoy making those pieces.
Sorry. You like my ear, don't you? No.
And they hold such a meaning.
Yeah.
And I can be part of that. And
because one of the things you said as well previously, because the last episode that we spoke about some of your products is like the way it makes a certain person feel. Yeah. And the reviews that you had and how helps people in hard times. Yeah. I've had quite a few reviews that have been quite powerful.
And it's really touching when you get those, that piece of jewellery that you've sat there making can have such a powerful
I think that is the main joy out of what everyone creates is how it makes that person feel.
Yeah.
You don't get that in a normal day-to-day job.
No.
Because you don't see that person. You know, whether or not you serve someone.
That's it.
Or whether or not you work on a project. Once that project's out the door, it's
history, isn't it?
You don't. I guess you don't get to see how your work has helped someone else.
I mean, a lot of the time I'll get emails and I'll, like, for say like a custom bracelet or a necklace, and they'll say like, oh, my mum or something is going through chemo, and you hear the story about it, and they're like, oh, I want to get like some matching bracelets for me and my sister and my mum, saying, you know, like fuck cancer, or, you know, that type of thing, and once they receive it, I'll get another email to say like, thank you so much, my mum loved it, we're wearing them while she's going through the chemo and stuff like that, and you know, it just gives you that sort of warmth inside that means so much to them for that, and that you've done that for them. So yeah, I get a lot of that as well, and that just gives you that boost to keep going as well, because it's more than just you doing this for a business and for yourself, it's for other people as well.
I find it only just takes that one thing, whether it's a one email from someone, a comment, something to just solidify the belief that what you're doing is on the right track. It's what you like doing. And
sometimes it's just at that right time as well.
Yeah. And generally, I think most of it does happen at the right time and not before. Yeah,
which is really nice when you get that nice bit of feedback, or you get that email to say, thank you so much. It's made such a massive difference in such and such life. And you're like, oh, that's why I do this. And then it gives you that boost for so much longer. And
I think what we should all do is just look at, like, just pretend.
Yeah.
Pretend you know that, where do you want to go now? What do you want to do now? Yeah, just pretend that what you've done is made of, and just move on.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to have that recognition.
No.
I think if you just have it in yourself.
Yeah. I think we all lack that though, don't we? As small businesses, as a community, we lack that for some reason, which is a shame. And we should all sort of be boosting each other up more. And
asking for someone's help is not a weakness, or asking for someone's opinion is not like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Because I think a lot of people can feel like, if they can't do it on their own, then they're not good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've all been there. I mean, at the beginning when I started, I had no idea what I was doing. I had to learn from something, and I didn't feel like I could ask anybody.
Progress doesn't look the same for everyone. Life doesn't pause just because you run a small business. Health issues, caregiving, grief, exhaustion. All of it exists alongside the work. And continuing, even slowly, is still something to be proud of.
And I couldn't do anything, and I couldn't get up, and I was like stuck in bed. Like, I just couldn't even see what the next day was. Now it's sort of like, when I can do something, I'm like, right, let's do this. And I'm not going to waste any time.
Yeah, take the opportunity.
Yeah. And I mean, along the journey and whatever, we've had a lot of hiccups along the way. I mean, I was rushed into hospital about 5 years ago. I think I told you about it actually. I had pressure on the brain, swelling on the brain and behind the eyes and that. So I had to stop this for quite a while.
Was that through stress?
No, I had a fluid on the brain. So I've got a condition called idiopathic intracranial hypertension. So it's like fluid builds up on the brain and behind the eyes. So I had to stop all of this for a while, and I thought I was going to lose it all actually, because obviously business doesn't stop, does it?
No, absolutely not.
But I wasn't allowed to work or anything, because you can lose your sight through it. And so until everything calmed down and like I had to have lumbar punctures and stuff like that to get the fluid out, I wasn't allowed to like work or anything. So I've had quite a few things like that, and my partner, he collapsed and he had like a fit at work and stuff. And so I had to look after him and drive him to work and back and stuff because he wasn't allowed to drive. We've had quite a few things like that happen, so there's been a few rough years.
But they are the bits that make you stronger as a person, and also make your journey even more. I mean, every person has their story, and
that's it. Yeah,
it's these life events that make that story
even more so. So I'm even more proud that I managed to keep it going, essentially, because they still, all the bills want paying still, don't they?
Which then, brings me back to that whole reflection piece that you spoke about earlier, about we don't spend enough time to stop and think.
That's it.
How far we've come.
That's it. Yeah.
We just look at
what's happening now.
Yeah. If you're struggling, reach out to another maker, to someone who understands. Asking for support isn't weakness, and having bad days doesn't take away from what you're building. Comparison can be loud, but it doesn't tell the full story. A piece of advice to another small business owner that struggles with their mental health, what would you say?
I would say that reaching out to other small businesses to support each other would be definitely a one to go for, and that it's okay to feel like have bad days and give yourself a break. Like, not every day is going to be the best, but it's also okay to give yourself that time and realise that it's not always plain sailing, and that but also don't let those negative thoughts take away from what you're building and what you're doing as well, because those intrusive thoughts can really take away from everything that you've built so far or that you're planning to build, and they're only temporary thoughts. Because that's basically what mental health is, it's temporary.
And it's a lot about, because we care too much about what other people think, and I think that's massive, especially in business as well.
I think what, I don't know about yourself, but I think one of my biggest things is seeing competitors and seeing how far they've gone compared to myself, for instance, and seeing how far and how much they've done in that short period of time compared to myself, and always thinking I should have done so much more in a quicker time, and especially when they've managed to do it in a shorter period of time than myself. But I also have to give myself credit that I have a lot of health issues and obviously mental health issues as well, but it's hard to see that sometimes, especially
people don't see that side.
Yeah, when people don't know about it, or especially because I don't speak much about it, and especially if you're in that negative space at the time as well.
I mean, that's going back to what you said about, always looking at where other people are and what other people got and stuff like that, and being envious of their position in business or in life. That is a dumb game that we all play. Yeah. That actually, the reason that we're envious is because that we don't feel that we're worthy of or capable of achieving what they've achieved, or obtaining what they've attained.
Exactly.
But as soon as you realise that you could have actually have absolutely anything that you want, and have that kind of mindset. I mean, it is like what I've researched and have read about. It's like 90% mindset and 10% strategy. Yeah. It's mindset plays a massive part on anything like that. And as soon as you start believing that you're capable, believing in yourself, you won't look at other people of what they've achieved and what they've got, because you can see yourself where you want to go. And as soon as you see yourself there, you don't worry about what other people are doing, because you're like, oh, I'm excited, I'm going to be there soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, I'm patient, I'll sit here and I'll wait.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
If you're running a small business and quietly struggling, you're not alone. This space exists so we can talk honestly about the hard days, about the joy, and about why what we're making matters, even when it feels invisible. You're welcome here.